Hello, internet family. So, I had a really cool revelation earlier, and I almost forgot to share it, even though I had planned on sharing it. So I'm glad I just thought of it, and I wanted to tell you guys. So, we don't have to be mad, and here's what I mean by that. So, I was overthinking some things, trying to process, whether I was listening to the voice of God or whether I was listening to the voice of fear and labeling it as listening to God. Didn't realize how easy that would be to do. And I was kind of working through that and working through the reasons I was fearful. And what it boiled down to was, answering questions that I honestly don't even know the answer to, and that I'm not comfortable answering. And something dawned on me. Like, when it comes to a situation where there are people who are separated or people who are on bad terms, is there really even anyone who actually knows the whole story? And here's what I mean. So let's just say, for instance, that I was in a situation that me and another person had some sort of disagreement, and our stories would be told differently. So if someone was to ask me, they would hear my side of the story. And if someone was to ask the other person, they would hear that person's side of the story. And one might think, maybe, as I was thinking about this, I was like, well, I guess somebody could get the whole story if they talked to both people. But that's not even true either. Because what I realized is that the only person that would actually know the entire story would be God himself. Because even me, myself, the parts of the story that I wasn't present for, the parts of the story that I wasn't in the room for and aware of, I don't know. So I can't tell a whole version of the story. And I also, and this is the kicker to me, this is what really changed my perspective prayerfully for the rest of my life. This is an incredible just epiphany for me. So even the things that I'm aware of, even the things that I'm part of, even the things that are me, do I really know the whole story? Because my view, my opinion, my feeling, even my reality is dependent entirely on the lens that I'm seeing things through. So if I'm seeing things through a lens of hurt, a lens of offense, a lens of my own personal things, then I'm not actually seeing the reality of things. And even if I am, it's my reality. It's obviously going to be different than theirs. And I think this is where so many things get twisted and torn up, and where breakups of any kind, not just relational like relationships, but any kind of breakup between two people and any kind of situational things, where they get so nasty is that we don't recognize that it doesn't have to be somebody in the wrong, and it doesn't have to be somebody in the right. That maybe it was just two different perspectives causing two different realities, causing a misunderstanding, and where things weren't meshing together anymore. And maybe it's okay that things split. Maybe it's okay that the pages were turned in different ways. And as I was thinking about this, I found so much freedom in knowing that, first of all, God knows the whole story. Anytime something happens, God knows the whole story, and he's the judge, period. He's the only judge. Does that mean that I will not allow another Christian to correct me or to call me out or to have a conversation with me? Absolutely not. But ultimately, God is the only judge, meaning that he's the only one that could condemn me if I were in the wrong, and I know that he won't. I will absolutely let him guide me. So God is my only judge, and that's so reassuring. And then to know that he knows what's going on, and to know that he has my best interest at heart. I know that he does. Jeremiah 29:11 and Romans 8:28 tell us that God has plans for us, and that we know God is love. Okay, so God loves us dearly. We are his adopted children. He takes care of us, so I know that he knows the whole story, and that he's got something planned for it already. And what's even better is that I can know, no matter what circumstance I'm thinking about in my entire life, past, present, future, whatever, that if it involves another believer, that not only is this true for me, but it's true for them. So it's not that I don't get to be mad. I've been doing it wrong. We've probably all been doing it wrong. It's not a going to the cross over and over again with dang, I have to lay this down when I would rather carry it. That's difficult. That's really difficult. And I have struggled so much with that over the years of trying to lay down offenses and hurts because I want to, like, justifiably, I am right to be hurt right now, so why are you making me, here, you can have it, over and over and over and over again. But that's not how it really is. It's that we don't have to be mad. We don't have to be offended. We don't have to be hurt because we don't know the lens in which someone else was seeing things through. And we don't even know that our own lens wasn't painting things wrong, tainting things wrong. And furthermore, spiritual warfare. So how do we know that there weren't things going on in our side of things that were wrong, that the enemy was twisting in a way that made the situation something that it otherwise wouldn't have been, or vice versa? We never know the whole story, even when it's our story. We don't know where it really started. We certainly don't know where it's going to end. And no matter how present we are for whatever part of the story that we're thinking about or telling about, we don't actually know the whole thing. We only know what our human mind can comprehend. And friends, that's really not much. So I've had a lot of weight on me recently, and there's just such a freedom that I found in this. And I think this is something that we could all grab a hold of, that a lot of us are going to find freedom in. It's not that we don't get to be mad, it's that we don't have to be, and it's not that anyone has to be wrong or right, either one, and that God is the only judge. And I just pray that this blesses somebody's heart the way that it did mine tonight, and you guys have a magnificent rest of your night. Love you all.